What up? Coach Colin here, and I am super excited because my plug over at Nike sent me a package yesterday. I had no idea what it was. It was kind of bigger and more boxy than most of the packages that I get from Nike. So, a lot of times they're like Kobe shoes or that sort of thing. So I open up the box and look what I find. The Nike Adapt BB. So I'm really excited about these, and it's funny because I wasn't necessarily like buying the hype when they first came out. I was like, whatever, like they might be kind of cool. But for some reason, when I opened the box and I saw these, I got like more excited for any other pair of shoe I've ever had before. So it's one of those things where like all of a sudden, like I'm super into it when I thought maybe I wouldn't be. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably unbox this thing for you, show you exactly what is inside, what comes with it. And then I'm also gonna get them on court and we're gonna kind of see how they feel. I'm gonna give you a little kind of mini performance review. So I'm pretty excited about them. I know this colorway is a little bit different than the original launch one, and so I think we're gonna enjoy it. All right, so let's take a look at what we got inside this box. Now, it's a little bit confusing how it opens. I think you slide it first out of this sleeve. So we'll slide that open. Nice branding though, Nike, well done. And then this guy, let's see here. Looks like maybe we got a tab here. I bet we got a tab on the other side. And the moment of truth. Let's see what we got. All right, so as we pull it out, it looks like the box got kind of a nice like two-way separator right there. And then inside, each shoe is wrapped individually. Oh, and there we have it, folks. It's a good looking shoe. I like this colorway a lot more than the original colorway that was launched. I'm kind of more of a muted, gray tone kind of guy most of the time. So I really, really like this. It's a little bit more subtle and feels like it's not as sharp of a contrast in between, the top and the bottom there. So overall, pretty interesting look. Let's see here, they got inserts here inside of the shoes as well. Take those guys out. And then in the inside, you can see kind of the interior lining looks like that. Now what's interesting about this shoe, kind of one of the first things that I notice is if you really look inside there, you can kind of see the lacing system, if we can get a focus in there. But what's cool is the tongue is actually connected to the top upper by this pull tab right here. So one of my biggest questions when I first kind of saw these come out with Nike is like, all right, that's cool, but what do they do with the tongue, right? So in a basketball shoe, your tongue might slip down, it might slip sideways. And so I was really curious to see how they would kind of combat that. And so it looks like they combat that by essentially connecting the tongue to the upper with this pull tab right here, which is kind of interesting. And I think it's kind of a smart move. The second issue I thought about when I just kind of was like looking at these shoes online is, are the pulley system and are the cables going to actually dig into your foot? Now, full disclosure, I'm not a complete sneakerhead. I don't know all the technology behind this. I don't even know, what all the parts of the shoe are probably called. But what I do know is I like how shoes feel, and I know when I don't like how shoes feel. So although this might not be like the most scientific performance review you're probably gonna see on the Nike Adapt BB, I'm gonna give you some kind of interesting insight as to kind of an everyday hooper. So overall, that looks pretty sweet. Let's take a look at the other shoe here. I think it's probably looking the exact same. Bam. Oh yeah, good looking shoe. Again, I like this gray mesh. Pretty good look here. Let's see if I can pull this guy out. Nice. So overall, great presentation from Nike. At a price point like this, I would assume they should have some nice presentation, but overall this feels like a really premium product and not as heavy as I would have thought they were right out of the gate. I kind of had a feeling that they were gonna be super heavy. I mean, if you're housing like a motor unit that's tightening laces and untightening laces, I thought that maybe that would be an issue. But they don't feel much heavier than kind of your standard LeBrons for sure. So I think overall, from a weight perspective, they're not that bad. All right, so now we got the shoes, right? And the shoes are great, the shoes are cool, but a lot of it has to do with the hardware that's inside of the shoes and what else you get. So I believe the next thing in here is the charging base. Let's check her out. So this guy, Nike Adapt Charger 1.0. So apparently you're supposed to just plug this bad boy in and set the shoes on top like that, and they're supposed to charge. Yeah, I mean, overall, I don't know exactly where I'm gonna charge these, probably at the office. It seems like the best place to do it, but let's see what's inside this pack in the middle. All All right, this looks like the charging unit right here. So just your standard, plug in. Looks pretty decent. You got like a decent length of cord in there as well. Overall, I like the durability of everything I've seen so far. It all feels very kind of, technologically savvy and well built. Kind of has like almost an Apple vibe to the stuff, which is pretty cool. All right, what do we got in the bottom of this? Same thing. It just says Nike Adapt EARL B-Ball. Again, this is kind of a pop the trunk production we're rolling right here, so I don't even know what that means. And that's all we got. We got the bottom of an empty box. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna charge these bad boys up and let's jump into the gym. What up? So we are now in the gym with the Nike Adapt BBs. So I'm gonna get these on my feet. I'm gonna do a little workout in them, give you kind of my first impressions. I actually wore them last night at a training as well to really kind of dig into them and see what they're all about. So I'll give you my thoughts on that as well. But first, let's jump into it. All right, so the shoes all kind of start with this Adapt app. Now what's cool about this is you can adjust the left shoe and the right shoe, how tight they hug your feet for like a truly customizable fit. So what I really like about this personally is a lot of times my left foot fits a little looser than my right foot does. So this app's great because I can actually tighten up that left side just a little bit. So this is just how easy it is to put them on. All you gotta do is slide your foot in and it will actually remember most of the time the settings that your foot was last in. So if we wait for it, see that noise? It tightened up on me as I put my foot in. So we'll do the same thing with the right. It remembers my settings. And you see the right slide up. Now what's cool about this app and the functionality is, again, I can just slide this left and slide this right up to make sure I want it tighter or looser. So let's say I want my left foot just a little tighter. I can drag it up to 80 or whatever, and it'll tighten up. I can drag it all the way down, and it'll loosen all the way down. So far I like the customizable fit of these a ton. The training session that I did yesterday with them was really, really cool because when I train, I don't necessarily like my shoes laced up as much as if I was actually playing, so it was really easy just to bump them down to a different setting, right? So overall, it's not necessarily like a must-have when it comes to lacing up your shoes, right? Tried and true, you can still do the same thing, but it is a little bit of a showstopper as well. So let's jump into this workout, and then I'm gonna give you some final thoughts.
Top red, I made a name for myself. I can't lie, I'm doing well for my age. My dogs said they're praying on my downfall. Well, they just choosing the casket, now they souls in the grave. I'm a star right, gotta bark right. I induce pain, I am Luke Kane, makes a Bruce Wayne. I'm a Dark Knight, watch you stargaze. Got a hard bite, I'm a dog at the leash, better talk right. Bet I do this, not a new kid, been a student. You're a doofus on a real. Oh, you wanna know me? Well, I'm the man, thought you knew. Now you know what it do. I'm a 94 baby, swanking like a brand new Mercedes. And I'm dapper down on my feet and my ride too clean. Wake up every morning, hand a lemon in my tea. Moral of the story is, you are you, and I am me. Just be. I'm a gentleman, now I'm settled in.
All right, so final thoughts on the Nike Adapt BB. Overall, I really like them. I don't think it's necessarily a shoe I would play every single day in, just from a performance aspect. I feel like the platform's maybe a little bit high for me personally, and I like a lot more court feel. I like a lot of times a shoe like the Kyrie Irving models, or even like the Steph Curry S3 Z02s from Under Armour. So those are the ones a lot of times that I like because I'm more of a court feel guy. But if you're more like to play up off it a little bit and kind of play like that, that's probably, kind of what you're gonna like about the shoe. The custom fit, I'm gonna be honest, is really awesome. I love the way it hugs my foot. I love the way it feels. So I think for me personally, I'm gonna use this shoe a lot more as a training shoe. So when I'm doing personal sessions, when I'm running clinics, doing that sort of stuff, not necessarily when I'm gonna be going up and down the court, every single time. I think for me personally, that's probably what's gonna fit me the best with these shoes. But overall, they're awesome. Like I mentioned before, they're definitely a showstopper. I took them to my practice with my 7th grade group I work with yesterday, and it was like heads all over the gym were turning. So if you're the type of guy who likes to stun a little bit, or if you're the type of player that likes to kind of have heads turn, these are definitely ones that are gonna do it, because I had everybody from janitors, watching me do it, to volleyball players who are walking through the gym. So overall, it's definitely a head turner, and really cool that you know, from a technology standpoint, Nike's pushing the envelope and really kind of moving, you know, trying things that haven't been done before. So just the fact that they could make this to make it functional and that you could actually play in it, to me, is unbelievably impressive. So, you know, overall, I would say the Nike Adapt BB isn't a perfect shoe, especially from a performance standpoint, but, you know, overall, it's gonna get the job done from a traction standpoint, from a court feel standpoint, from a cushioning standpoint. You know, again, I'm not the guy who's gonna have all the tech specs on it and that sort of stuff, but just from like a real world feel, I feel like it's pretty solid and it could be a great choice. Now, everybody's gonna say, hey, they're crazy expensive, it's a huge price point. I totally get it, right? I think they're about $350 retail right now. I'm gonna be 100% honest, I got my pair for free from my guy over at Nike. He sent them over as a gift, so shouts to you, first of all. Second of all, it's funny because when I first saw, you know, the headlines and these come out, I thought to myself, like, that $350 price point seems really steep. I'm not gonna get them, right? Just like I think a lot of people probably thought. But I have never been as excited when I got a package in the mail as when I opened these up, which is super interesting because in my brain I thought like, oh, I'm not really into those. Maybe they're a gimmick. But once the package came, I got really, really excited. And just putting them on your feet is an experience unlike probably anything you're ever gonna have before or again. Just because it seems like such a small difference, the whole like, you know, lacing your sneakers versus doing it on your phone or doing it on the side of the shoe. But for some reason, it's really fun. It is really satisfying. So if you get an opportunity to at least try them on, I would highly recommend it, just because if you do, I'm pretty sure that you're probably gonna fall in love with it, even if that wasn't your initial thought. So hey, Nike, great engineering, great work. Again, thanks for sending it over, much appreciated. Now, if you wanna get better, I've got something phenomenal for you. I've got a workout called the Insta Bucket workouts that I put together for everyone who watches these videos, who's trying to get better, who's actually dedicated to the game. So all you gotta do is click the top link in the description or the comments down below to sign up 100% free and get started with instant access today. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castell with Shotmechanics Basketball. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time.